Hey, Tio Tears. How you guys doing? I'm having a great day. Love that cup of coffee. By the way, you can get that cup, same one like I got, at the linuxtube.shop. Anyhow, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the preview release of Deepin 23. It's a pretty major release. It's getting ready to come out by Deepin, and we're going to go over it in detail and see what the major difference is, because there's 3 points. So let's go ahead and do that. And here it is. This is the deepin.org webpage where they're announcing the release of the Deepin 23. Basically, a little brief history on Deepin. I'm really not a desktop guy. Mainly, I'm a window manager guy, OpenBox and i3 now. And I left the desktop environment years ago for the most part. Last one I toyed around with was KDE. The reason why I left them is just because I like, stuff more streamlined, and I like to customize it extremely to the point of what is mine is mine. What comes out of the box is what I put in it. I really enjoy that aspect of the window managers. But Deepin has since evolved. It's Debian based. It was Ubuntu based, but around Deepin 15, they migrated away, much like Linux Mint is trying to do right now with the LMDE desktop environment. They're trying to migrate away from the Ubuntu base and make it their own independent things. And so Deepin has actually become, in this release, that's part of the major part of it, is its own independent distribution, because it is installing Linglong, its own package manager. As you see here on the webpage, Linglong, Deepin 23 preview, Linglong's official website's there, and Linglong is a solution created components and authority management mechanism, and other related content will gradually be revealed. It's basically replacing the Synaptic or apt package manager. Well, it's actually Synaptic is the front end and apt is the package manager. But at any instance, it's going to be replacing that and becoming Linglong. Now, if you go to the linglong.dev webpage, their official website, you can see that basically it's a derivative or a development of sorts, just like Flatpaks in Snaps. They're containerized applications. So, and if you go to their store, right here, I'll click on the web link here, and it'll take you to the store here. Where you can click Linglong. It's probably going to come up in Chinese. Oh no, it came up in English, because Deepin desktop is actually, made in China. The developer is Chinese. So, but these are just a brief look at some of the packages here, just to show you that you can download them from here. They're already containerized. You got many pages down at the bottom. So far, it just shows 6, but I haven't gone through all of them, and I don't plan on going through all of them for the sake of keeping this video short. So we're going to return back to their website and go down further to see what else is new. And then another thing that they added is atomic updates. Atomic updates is a new idea for system updates. So it's not like anything that you've already seen. It's new in regards that they created it and developed it, which regards system updates as atomic operations, which that's fair to say, because in updates, oftentimes you get just a few updates, very rarely, but oftentimes it updates the core base. So you wind up having to do system reboot in order for it to effectively, impart its update upon the kernel and any of the system, core files. So yeah, you could say it's an atomic operation. If packages are installed successfully, system updates are finished. If system updates fail, the system can be reverted to the previous version with no changes. So I'm thinking that what they're doing is, in their update feature, they're adding the system restore part as part of that, whereas not where you go in and configure either time shift or Snapper to do it of their own accord. This one is automatically done. I think Snapper does, because I've had other distros that I've used it on where it actually whenever I updated anything in the system update way, either through PAMAC or through command line, it automatically made a snap. So I think this is going to operate similar to snapper in that function. And then also it's independent upstream because it's got its own developers that are maintaining its distributions as well. And it's actually following the same upstream formats as Debian and Arch. So it's going to be its own independent thing, and I think that's great. I think that when you develop something, you should develop it off of a base to get an idea and a feel for what you're doing, and then migrate it to its own independent self. Independency is always a great thing. It breeds difference. It breeds newness. It breeds continued advancement in everything. And so in this, what they're going to, in this distribution, the 23, they're going to add new wallpapers. They built in brand new repositories, the Linglongs, which I don't know that they're repositories as much as it's just a flat pack, I guess, repository. But either way, and also it's got the HWE 518 kernel, which is the hardware enforced kernel. So it means that if you have a newer video card, it's going to work. Older video cards, they'll work as well. But this is really cool because it's you're going to allow for you to use current and modern hardware and not have as many setbacks or delays. It's also got the added support for the atomic updates and also the Linglong package manager. Other than that, some Linglong apps are going to be already added in when it comes. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual distribution itself. And go ahead and now that I boot it up in a Vert Manager with it, I'm going to put in my code and we're going to log in. And so this is what you're greeted with. This is what it looks like. This is the system monitor, and it is its own system monitor created by them. All these apps are their own. They've taken other apps and recompiled them and configured them for their system, and they pretty much so use them all. So this is their web browser, which is, if we go here, it's a fork of Firefox. I'm not sure what they are calling it other than browser. It's version 6.0. Also, Union Tech is another operating system that that this developer has developed as well, and they will be showcasing it pretty soon too. It's been around for about a year also. Just a little side note. This is the desktop you're met with. Now, what's interesting is it, to me, like I said, I'm more of Tiling Window Manager, so this is really my first time ever using Deepin, and I'm doing it for the show because, like I said, it's a major independent release update, so I'm really excited for them for that. But when I look at it, it screams to me as if it's been kind of modified to look a little bit like it's KDE, Plasma, but has like kind of a Mac or Windows 11 smishmash feel, kind of, sort of. I don't know how to describe it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's unique because it's got the bar over here on the bottom left, and then it's got like the dock in the middle, and of course it's got your widgets over here. So your tray icons and your widget, your notification center and your power session. So and the recycle bin, much like the KDE desktop theme, So it's kind of cool. But when you click on the applications, it opens up to this, which to me is GNOME or GNOME semblant. So I'm kind of, it's like, I would have to say they took the best of both worlds and kind of mashed them together to a degree. It's actually quite beautiful. But either way, I thoroughly enjoy it. I do. It's kind of pretty and it flows. It's nice. It's very nice. So that being said, this is your desktop. On the left-hand side, you've got your application launcher, which I've already showed you. Then next to that, you've got your show desktop, and then you've got your multitasking view. Then in the middle, you've got your pinned start taskbar, so to speak. Icons with your browser, your image viewer, your music player, calendar, and then of course this is a control center or their settings. So if you go to the control center settings, you can work with accounts, display Deepin ID. So I guess that's kind of where, to me, it feels like they're melting Mac style into that with your Apple ID, so to speak. So if you set this up, you will wind up having a complete across the board whatever you've got Deepin desktop synced into. You put your Deepin ID in, and it should sync all your devices together. So, of course, your default applications, personalization, which is where you can customize it. And this is where, once again, this is where, to me, this is like a KDE, their settings manager where you can do global themes, icon themes, cursors, and fonts. So I think they more so took the KDE Plasma environment, made that, and then they just kind of threw the application launcher environment as like GNOME. But this is just like settings like you would find in KDE Plasma, which is, like I said, they've actually done a good job with this really well. Then over here, just of course, we can switch your keyboard layout or your sound volume, your network interface, and then you can minimize it and make it go away if it's too much for you. Otherwise, there you can also search for, they call it grand search. Like, let's search, because when I installed it too, I got a welcome menu, which I'll launch, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. And then, of course, you've got your onboard keyboard that's already installed and ready to run, and your power session, of course, your date and time here, recycling bin, and notifications. If you click on notifications, they pop right out. So that's just like KDE. So let's look at their welcome. So in their welcome, you've got the introduction, which is pretty much a video that you can play. Desktop mode. This is where you can switch what they call fashion mode versus efficient mode. If you do fashion mode, it's more intensive on resources because that's what is enabled. It's more intensive on resources. It uses more animations, more RAM, that kind of stuff. Where efficient mode is one that will actually do, like I just literally just changed it, and it just uses a little bit less resources. Also, for your running mode, you can do effects mode or you can do normal mode. Click on normal mode, and now, oh, I probably have to reboot. I'm not going to do that. Window effect is enabled now. And then also your icon themes, you could select different icon themes for it. It's got a ton in there. So this is basically like a quick and dirty welcome to Deepin setup where you can customize look and feel right off the bat. I, like Matt over at the Linux Cast, personally feel that your themes, which it did come with right out of the box as a dark theme, should always be dark. I don't even know why light themes exist. I mean, they're blinding. It's ugly at best. It's so archaic, but these dark themes are beautiful. So anyhow, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of the apps they've got installed here. Of course, under graphics, you've got image viewer, you got album, draw, document scanner, and picker, which document scanner, I don't know that many people use that. It's got a couple games installed, Lililan Khan and Gomuku. For Office, it's got the, oops, my bad. Got a new mouse. I'll show you in just a second. And also, this is going to have some bugs. So the new mouse I got is a new Logitech touch mouse. No scroll buttons, so you use finger actions for it. And to do that, sometimes it's real sensitive. It goes really far, so I'm getting used to it. As far as Office is concerned, it's got document viewer, text editor, and voice notes. That's on this preview. From what I understand and what I've read in Deepin, the actual Office is only Office that comes installed with it. So for system, now that's got a couple windows within it itself. You got terminal, you got manual, computer, control center, system monitor, bootmaker, which I'm assuming that is like Balena Etcher. It's their USB image writer or bootable USD writer. Device manager is probably just that. It's like disks or their partitioning tool. Oh, no, it gives you, it's like system operation. Wow. It tells you what you're using as far as your devices are concerned: CPU, motherboard, memory, display adapter. Yeah. So, storage right here. This tell you what your hard drive types are and all that good stuff. So it's just a basic system overview information. On the second page of it, let's go back. Go back. One more. You have calculator, font manager. Oh, here's their disk utility, their partition right here, which I believe is going to be probably like GNOME disks. Let me put my password in and take a look at it. Yeah, it's got the look and feel of a little different than GNOME disks, but it's more than likely going to behave the same way as it. Yeah, that's kind of cool. It's beautiful. I can't complain. I mean, it's simply gorgeous. Everything that they've got, it's minimalistic, clear, and gorgeous. Much like I like it. You know, I don't like all the clutter in the computing world. It's done on a lot of distributions. They clutter it with a lot. Like one thing I noticed is they did not have multiple programs that do the same thing. Like you'll have two disk utility managers, you'll have two file managers on there, you'll have two text editors or three text editors. You don't need all that coming, when it's loaded out of the box. Just put one on and let people remove if they don't like it, and add the one that they want, or give them the option to set it up as they go along, like the Calamaris does on some of the Arch distros. To add all these things is just insane. What I will tell you about this ISO though, it was 3.3 gigabytes per download, so it's got a lot of stuff in it as well. So for internet, they have the mail client, then they have their browser, which is browser, but it's obviously a fork of Mozilla, and a downloader. For music, they have their own music player, which will fire it up. Looks plain and simple. Kind of, in a way, to me, it looks like a music player derivative version of the Hypnotics IPTV player that LM Linux Mint uses. So it's kind of cool. We're going to click exit. This is confirmation. We're going to confirm it. And we're out. So let's go back to our thing. For video, they have movie player. They have a screen capture tool. They got camera. And then, of course, the camera utility test. So Q4L. They have, and we're back to graphics, the image viewer and the draw and the scanner with the picker. So anyhow, that's a look at what's installed on it. Now, basically, there's not a whole lot to it other than the fact that, like I said, it's very simple. It's I think the way that when you take and you get a distribution that you download that you want to test drive or maybe you like, it should be. Um, Everything that you need to make things work, which the HWE is going to have, it's got to have a lot in it because it's obviously allowing for a lot of hardware to work right out of the box, both newer and older. So that probably contributed to the large size of download that this has. But other than that, as far as the applications that are installed, it's basically your needs, your necessity applications to get around and do things. So this one is actually being done right. It is made in China. The developer's Chinese, so I'm not sure about contacting them through different channels, how it'll work for them as far as like being able, if you're American or English or another nationality, if they can understand what you're trying to type to them, unless you use English, of course, or simplified Chinese, which Google Translate can help you with on that. But I've been impressed with this desktop, and now that it's becoming its own independent desktop or distribution, I really like it. It's beautiful. It's simple. It's not complicated, and it's not overpowered with a bunch of tools and a bunch of applications. It's done quite well. So those are my thoughts on Deepin 23 and what's coming out now. Mind you, this is what I showed you here is not the final version at all. Like I said, it's just a preview. They're still finishing up the development. I don't know exactly when the release date is for the actual finished version, but if you like what I saw, then I'd go ahead and keep an eye on that and find out and find out when that is, and of course certainly download it and put it on hardware, on real hardware. This isn't a virtual machine, and for all means, and by all means, just go ahead, enjoy it, have fun with it. I may load it onto my laptop because I just really like the look and feel of it and use it on my laptop because, like I said, it really impressed me. In any instance, hey, you guys, let me know what you think. Please like and share. Visit us on all our social medias. You know them: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're everywhere. Also, if you can, please pop on over to our patreon.com page, the Linux Tube. Find us over there and, support us there. Select a tier, please. And then I can start giving you shout outs on the show as well. Also, come visit us at Linux Community Reloaded, our Facebook group. That's the new home of the Linux Tube. So I'm in there all the time. They've got lots of moderators and good admins over there. So stop in over there, say hi, hang out with some cool, friendly people. Other than that, you guys keep doing what you do and keep on Linuxing. Have a great day.